What's up, everybody? This is Asia. You guys can tell I'm already frustrated. Reason being, this is literally the third time I'm trying to record this, having some technical glitches. So I'm going to try and keep this shorter than most of my other long form episodes because I'm already done and I'm ready to have my glass of wine and dinner. So let me just disclose this. I am not AI. I'm noticing that there's a lot of comments asking if I'm AI or if I'm real. I don't do photorealism. I don't do AI clones. I don't like it. And maybe I'll do a behind the scenes video or, some exclusive content on my Substack for you guys to kind of see my workflow with AI cartoons and music videos. But I'm real. So I can't go through all the comments and answer each and every one that asked me that. So I'll just start adding the disclaimer. Now we're going to jump into today's episode. Okay. And I'm gonna try and keep this one probably less than 40 minutes because again, third time I've recorded this, technical glitches, and I'm kind of over it. I just want to get it out. I don't know how many of you have saw over the weekend. There's a couple of things, two things. So over the weekend, Trump's drafted executive order about AI and wanting to fight in two states. That drove me insane. I was kind of upset. I was upset about that. And I'll try not to get loud and scream in your ears for those of you who are listening to this podcast on YouTube Music. But the reality is that he's going against the grain when it comes to America First. All right, because America First believes in a federalist system, a federalist society. The states have authority. If we created you, then we have a right to protect our people. And if they want to pass laws that protected citizens from clearly what's coming from AI disruption and what these AI companies want to do, and the more invasion of our privacy that AI is going to cause, yeah, states have every right to do that. And I don't approve of Trump trying to sue us all or sue every state like Texas and Colorado, California. I can't believe I'm defending California right now. Did not see that coming. But they have a right to protect their citizens. Now, I, in some ways, can understand where the president is coming from. So let me show some grace to Trump. You can't have every state coming up with like 1,000 different laws for innovation. That I can understand. But here's the problem, Trump. Because you're so focused on global innovation and not solely on the country's innovation and how our well-being, clearly because you want to bring in H-1B visas, states are going to do what they have to do. And so if you're not willing to give, states should definitely continue to do what they're going to do. And then you want them to wait for Congress? I'm 30 years old. The internet happened in 1994, I believe, Section 230, not that long after. They're still trying to figure that out. Bitcoin came out in what, 2012? And even that may be late, either 2010 or 2012. It's 2025. You just came out with something related to crypto, and in my opinion, it's half-assed. It didn't do anything to benefit crypto the way crypto lovers wanted to see. It enriched the Fed. Crypto was supposed to create currency choice. You killed that. But it did take a decade for you to come up with that. And now you want states to wait for Congress for AI? That's ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. And that actually brings me to the real topic of this episode, which is Nick Fuentes' America First Foundation. This is why it's such a big deal. And I know you guys trying to figure out the correlation. I will explain that. Just, follow my train of thought. Again, I'm kind of heated, and this is the third one. It was a lot more meticulous and planned with all the other ones. Not so much anymore. I'm just going to rip and riff, and we'll see how it turns out. But Nick Fuentes literally said, I believe it was an episode either he did yesterday or released earlier over the weekend, where he did say that he's relaunching the America First Foundation. That apparently it started, I think, in 2020. Now I'm saying that because I actually did look up the organization yesterday when I saw the video. I was like, what? Nick Fuentes is creating an actual institution for us, America First. You guys know how big of a deal that is? Like, that's freaking huge because we're literally just people who watch content or create content. There is no machine behind the movement. And finally, there is one now. I mean, he did say that he did this in 2020, but he's relaunching it. But honestly, I mean, with Turning Point USA and everybody considering him Nick Fuentes, anyway, a racist and an anti Semite and a misogynist, and no one really giving a damn or paying attention to what the problems are with Israel. No one really, in my opinion, no one was really on the trend that he is. But ever since the death of Charlie Kirk, millennials and younger have moved more and more extreme. Really, Charlie was the guy keeping our extremism at bay, because it did feel like Charlie was telling the administration and the leaders of the GOP what we were thinking, what we were feeling, our issues with Israel, our issues on affordability, the housing crisis, affordability, everything. And it did feel like, okay, well, they're listening to Charlie and we don't have to be so extreme. Then they killed him. And then the administration and the GOP and the entire machine and of the uniparty and the and the military industrial complex just like completely went ham on doing everything opposite of America First. And now we're on Nick Fuentes' side. And honestly, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with the America First Foundation. I'm super stoked. I'm so sick and tired of these pundits that we're seeing, like Tim Pool and the rest of them, not acknowledging that there is a legitimate reason for why people are watching Nick, what they agree with it, why they agree with him on 99% of the issues. On a lot of those issues, we are in agreement with him. Like, a lot of us don't give a damn that he's a racist. A lot of us don't give a damn that he's an anti-Semite. If that's true, honestly, it could just be satire. I just think he's a vulgar guy. He likes to cuss a lot. He likes to say a lot of foul things. But I mean, come on. He's a commentator. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do any of us care? No. The problem with America first, with this country, is that it's not America first, I should say. It's a huge problem. Trump's latest leaked draft of executive order is proof of that. Now, I know you guys are like, but Asia, you're America First AI. It's America First AI podcast, America First AI network. You use AI in your cartoons and stuff. How are you not for what Trump is doing to enable more AI innovation? I can understand that you don't want 1,000 different laws because it will stifle innovation, and I can understand that. But you cannot ask a state to stand down when it sees a threat on the horizon and you're not doing a damn thing about it. In fact, Trump, you are part of the problem. You're prioritizing these global corporations. You're not prioritizing the American people. You're picking and choosing winners and losers in the economy. You're not backing small businesses. You're backing corporations. You're not backing the American worker. You're going to bring in H-1B visas and 600,000 Chinese nationals to compete with us in jobs that are left. Now, there is this trend going around now, because I do watch AI, a lot of AI content, not AI generated content, but podcasters that talk about AI and AI news. In the next 900 to 1,000 days, which is relatively 2.5 years, there's a major shift coming in the economy. No shift in the monetary system. That shift ain't coming yet. Not without more influence from these corporations. I think that's coming, but just not anytime soon. But there's going to be this huge shift. And the shift is going to be that there will not be any more hiring from these top 500 companies, these publicly traded companies. There won't be any more of that. They're going to start firing people once the AI bubble bursts, but they're going to continue to collect profits. Why? Because these people are going to be replaced by AI or slave labor coming in from H-1B visas that Trump wants to bring in. And so what does that mean for young Americans? Because you're either in debt from a degree you clearly didn't need, because AI can do the job now, or you trained the AI that they brought on and then they fired you after you trained it. And now what do you do? And honestly, this is where America First Foundation can come in when he starts to do educational material. Nick did say that he wanted educational materials available, training modules and things of that nature, obviously on how to be an activist, what to do to infiltrate institutions like politics. I do think culture is a big deal. I think that's how we got here in the first place. I think this Zionism and multiculturalism and nihilism that he does talk about on the America First Foundation website. I'll link it in the description of this episode. But he does say that those are the problems. We didn't get here but without cultural influence. Christians weren't fighting that fight. Right? You need to be in academia. You need to be in news media. You need to be in entertainment media. And I don't mean the Daily Wire. I think they're part of the problem. I don't mean PragerU. They're part of the problem. You're trying to convince a bunch of Americans that we are Judeo-Christian, and that's not our country. Period, full stop. Stop believing that nonsense. For those of you who watch those people like Brandon Tatum and ABL and Benny Johnson and Tim Pool, don't think that they are America first, because they're not. They think that we are a Judeo-Christian nation. We aren't. We are a Christian nation. We just lost sight of that for a couple of decades. Well, Nick Fuentes wants to get it back. And this is how we can contribute, by joining up. I mean, I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait for him to launch it. I wonder how many chapters are going to be created in like a day. I wonder. I mean, we saw what happened, right? The death of Charlie Kirk. So many young people wanted to start chapters. But now that so many of us have shifted to America First mindset, which is Christian nationalist traditionalism, that is America First in a nutshell. How many of us are going to flood there and wanting to start our own chapters, wanting to be donors, to actually have some actual political capital to infiltrate politics, to back candidates like Marjorie Taylor Greene, so that way the machine can't just go after one person for standing up for what's right? I cannot wait. I swear I can't wait. I can't wait just to be able to say to Nick Fuentes, hey, I make cartoons. You said you wanted to create animated content to get the message out there. Well, this is what I do. The Disavow Gala listed on the America First AI Substack. Make sure you guys are clicking the link and subscribing. It is available for free, but go ahead and subscribe to America First AI Substack. I make cartoons based on our principles and our values. That's what we do. Well, at least what I do. It's just me here. There's no team. So let me not say we. But I can't wait for him to launch it and deploy it. I'm good. That's the first thing I'm telling him. Hey, check out what I just did here. How can I be of service? Personally, I am a female. I believe women should follow strong men. And finally, there is a movement that I genuinely believe in, that I'm willing to put skin in the game for. I have a great old time making my cartoons. And yeah, they're a bit shoddy and they have their errors. And, some people will say, well, it's AI slop. I'm like, yeah, it's not the best technology yet, especially for what I'm paying for it. But I think with time, they'll get better, but worth it. I don't have to deal with pedophiles and predators in Hollywood to get my content done. I enjoy it. The Disavow Gala is such a great cartoon political drama. I think you guys would love it. And if I had more time on my hands, like if I was doing this full time, you guys would have 15 minutes per episode, not just, 90 seconds to 2 minutes per episode. There's already 2 episodes out available on America First Substack. So make sure you guys are clicking the link, heading over, subscribing and watching it. Check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section there on Substack. I made 1 episode available here. I'll link that trailer. But for those of you who are watching on television, you guys can see that the first episode is available for free. I have my Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro character archetypes already ready. Second episode aired last week. The third episode comes out tomorrow. Again, I only post them exclusively to my Substack. But this is what I do. I can't wait to use my skill set in service of the America First Foundation. I cannot wait. When I first moved to Texas, the first thing I did before I even had a job was sign up for Blexit Texas, because I believed in the initiative. Not so much anymore. Not Blexit Texas, but Blexit in general. I mean, I'm trying to show more grace to Black America. But my gosh, you see all these video and the ninja fatigue is real. And stop calling it Black fatigue. But I'm not even going to lie. It got so bad, I stopped calling myself Black. When I fill out forms, I don't even mark Black. I literally check other and write in Christian. If Judaism is a race, well, so is Christianity. I'm not black, I'm Christian who happens to appear black. That's what I tell people. At least that's what I was telling people, I should say past tense, because ninja fatigue is real. So I can't even. This is why I don't hate. This is why I don't dislike Nick, because he's right when he talks about black people. Like when he talks about them collectively, he's not wrong. I feel like 80% of them are criminals or promiscuous, children out of wedlock, which is such a disgrace because you know how they were back in the 60s. They were doing so well. What happened? Maybe we started saying that we were a Judeo-Christian nation. Maybe we relaxed our Christian values in the law. Maybe you influenced the minds of Black Americans with music, academia, entertainment. Maybe that happened. And now Black America is what it is. This is why I have issues with Brandon Tatum. Like, play your position, dude. Like, it's really hard for us Carltons to want to look out for Black America when you're not even heading the chair. Like, you're not doing your job as part of Blexit. You're supposed to help save blacks from the Democrats. That was your job. That was your role. What are you doing? Play your position. But putting that aside, you guys are understanding my issues, my plight, and why I'm so excited. Personally, I hope that the America First Foundation does everything it can to educate young Americans on how to use AI. Because personally, with the 900, 1,000 days coming, counting down that, young Americans need to be able to get themselves these skills and get hired amongst Main Street. And that's really the one benefit that's going to come from AI and these AI corporations, because I do see a lot. I see these every AI company becoming a $1 trillion company. And the reason why I say that is because they're going to become trillionaires by empowering Main Street personally. If small businesses have employees and working with young contractors, young Americans who are contracted to enhance Main Street's capabilities, Main Street can become millionaires. And we're adding in new businesses because of the innovation, because of the technology. That's going to be fantastic. I don't find any problem with that. I don't. But this is why it's important for the America First movement to have an institution of its own. So that way it can do a couple of things. Have, the money, the penny, so it can offer its thoughts in these conversations. So it can have the back of young people, have the back of Main Street, that it can get in the room with these AI companies and really tell them, this is what young Americans need from you. This is what young Americans want from you. This is the guarantee that Main Street needs from you. Because the president isn't doing that. Honestly, like, no lie, I've been working on something myself, not just doing my cartoons and everything, but literally when I jumped into the AI space, I was looking at all the different types of businesses a person can create. And there are so many. And the thing is, the types of businesses that people can create can seriously empower the existing Main Street businesses already. So Main Street will just get bigger and bigger because we young Americans will create them, the new businesses that empower the ones that have already existed. Now, as someone like myself who already leverages AI, I use it to create content for another business, an actual brick and mortar business located in Pennsylvania. I won't go into too much depth about it, but I literally create content for a business. Repurposing content for a business. These are things that young people can do. You can use AI for the sales part of things. You can use it to help you mass produce content for different types of businesses, for lead generation, for social media management, for scheduling for restaurants, for dentists, and all this, that, and the third. There's so many businesses you can create. This is the best opportunity. America First Foundation should be at the forefront of that. Make it different than Turning Point in that regard. Turning Point, honestly, I feel like it was just educating people on how to leverage TikTok. for more content creation. And I think Nick Fuentes is onto something. This is not just about us becoming more content creators, more podcasters, and all this, then a third. We need to provide a utility to Main Street. We need to focus on traditionalism, traditional values, and not so be focused on the world. Trump. Honestly, I suggest that everybody here who watches the show, I want you to read Carol Roth's book, The War on Small Businesses. I actually keep a copy. Like if you see, it's one of those red books back there. Um, I implore you to read it because she literally tells you like the whole nefarious plan to kill Main Street off. And it's taking them decades to do it. Like this didn't just happen overnight. And honestly, it took me like 2 to 3 months to finish the book because every time I opened it, it just got more and more like doom and gloom. And it just started to feel like, oh my gosh, how do you fight something like this? Like that's how it feels. Well, this is how the America First Foundation, putting Americans first, stop prioritizing global corporations, getting rid of the so-called free markets that we have today. I completely agree with Nick Fuentes when he said it, and I totally can't stand when people like Tim Pool and the panel that he had put words in Nick Fuentes' mouth. Nick Fuentes, apostrophe after the S. Tim Pool plays a video on his YouTube channel or his content or whatever, and he's reacting to something Nick Fuentes said about, there needing to be this new coalition between left and right populism. And he said the left populists need to give up on immigration and the right populists need to give up on these free markets that we're seeing so much. And when he said free markets, Nick Fuentes meant Wall Street. That's what he was talking about. He didn't mean end capitalism. And let's call a spade. We have not been a capitalist society since God knows when. I know definitely hasn't been in my lifetime. We live in a cronyist capitalist society, mostly cronyism. I say like 80-20% that gives you the illusion of capitalism. But it's not that. When you have a government who picks winners and losers. Because let's call a spade. If we weren't putting a whole bunch of dollars and backing global corporations and all these businesses weren't on Wall Street, Mom Donnie, a socialist in New York, wouldn't have been such a big deal if Main Street was the biggest part of our economy. If Main Street had 80% of our GDP and not Wall Street, would have anybody given a damn about what Mom Donnie did? I mean, yes, it's New York. Yes, it's Broadway. I get it. But come on, it wouldn't be this big deal. Everybody around the world wouldn't be having a panic attack that a socialist and a communist took over New York, Manhattan, New York City. But it's really like it's the financial capital on the planet, of the planet. And a socialist communist just took over. That's a big deal because we've prioritized free markets. Wall Street. Nick Fuentes wasn't wrong about that. And that's why the America First organization, in my opinion, I think is going to prioritize or reprioritize America where it once was. Put its attention back on Main Street. Small businesses is where it needs to be. Small businesses hire more people. Young people need to go to small businesses, go to Main Street, help them make more money, leverage AI to do it. If they make more money, you make money. I really hope America First Foundation does that. If not, well, America First AI is here, Nick. I cannot wait for him to come out with something. I'm super stoked. I haven't been so excited in God knows how long. I literally watched that video and it was like about time. Because the thing that I've been working on for like a couple of weeks, months, I should say, has not been launched simply because, my gosh, I did not want to create this foundation, but I knew it was needed. I knew some kind of an institution would be needed. Literally, me and my sister have this conversation all the time. Like, oh my gosh, America First needs something more than just a bunch of podcasters and people who watch content. It needs more than that. It needs its turning point. It needs a Blexit. It needs an APAC. It needs those things. Not all institutions are bad. If you don't stay on them, of course, they go bad. But we have to infiltrate politics. We have to infiltrate culture. The only way to do that is to have an institution of our own. And Nick is creating that. Now, he did say that when it launches, that he is going to be looking for donors and that we'll be able to donate. I hope that he says that people can create chapters, that they can contribute the best way that they know how. I mean, I just want to get in the room with Nick Fuentes and be like, this is what AI can do. This is what we can do right now. This is how we can empower young Americans leveraging AI. This is how we can prepare them for the next 900 to 1,000 days. This is the type of training I think you should give them. This is what I think we should be doing right now. Yes, provide educational materials. Yes, provide us some kind of an outlet. I hope he connects with a Catholic pastor, someone who can provide Christian Bible study weekly on the platform or through the platform. Hell, hop on a Zoom call. Excuse me. Heck, hop on a Zoom call where anybody who's part of America First can jump on it. We can learn more of the scripture. Again, this is what America First Foundation needs to do, and I hope it does. I do, like I said, I implore you guys to click the link in the description of this video and look into that more. He did say we can start donating now, and there were two ways you could do it. I thought it was so cool. You could do it through crypto, like Bitcoin and Litecoin. I think LTC is Litecoin. It's been a minute since I've looked at it, but my sister says she thinks it's Litecoin too, or US dollars. But man, I can't wait to see what happens next year, because this is exactly what was needed. And if done appropriately, screw appropriately, if done right, and he goes max with this thing, and all of us young people today or the day it launches, sign up. If he says we can create chapters, contribute the best way we know how to, using our current gifts, using our current talents, our skill sets, offering our ability. I mean, the things that he can do. You know, Trump was going viral with the sombreros on, Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer. Imagine what Nick Fuentes can do if he has someone like me making cartoons for the America First Foundation. I know I'm tooting my own horn, but the fact is, I would love to be the Candace Owens to Nick Fuentes' Charlie Kirk. Nick Fuentes, Charlie Kirk. It's just weird because I know the apostrophe after the S. But no lie, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to be it. I totally feel like this is my calling. I've been waiting for this movement for a long time. A very long time. Again, I moved here August of 2023, joined Blexit, and then I stopped doing Blexit. Now, I have a work history of working in nonprofits. When I lived in New Jersey, I worked for a behavioral health clinic. It was different, obviously, than activism. I did a couple events for Blexit. I'm not going to go in depth about it, but if you guys head over to one of my Instagrams, I don't know. I don't post like that anymore on my personal Instagram, but you guys could possibly find it. I think it's called Brazen Insights. If you look for my, America First AI Facebook page, again, don't post like that. So, but you'll see some of the posts and some of the events that I did do there. But, I fell off the Blexit movement. I got to know some really good people. I've been to some really cool events. I did a speaking event myself, so that was cool as well. I got to work with Turning Point at one point or another. So this was cool. I tabled an event where Riley Gaines was like, it was great. And I'm so grateful for the time that I spent volunteering and being an activist with Blexit. But I fell off, life's relationship works, moving into my own apartment because I was renting a room at that point. So it was, life's. So I fell off, but I never went back to Blexit. Just, I haven't felt motivated to do so. I haven't felt called to do it. I feel called now. 100% feel called. And personally, as a female who believes in Christian traditionalism, I don't believe that women should be leaders in government, and depending on what it is, right? Like, I can host my podcast and I can run a small creative studio. It's not like I'm selling services to clients or anything like that. Run a small little solo business, right? That's fine. Even if I am eventually, if I do hire team members, right? Okay, 2-3 people. Okay, that's fine. Nothing life changing, nothing life altering, not governance, not institution building. I knew we needed an institution, and I've had ideas, and I've literally played around with AI and vibe coded, like literally web application software as a service for this idea. But I never launched it simply because I didn't want to create it. I didn't want to start this movement, this institution. I didn't want to do it. I'm female. I shouldn't be doing this. And for those of you women who are like, no, women, I hear me roar. Oh, I don't care. I'm traditional. I'm meant to follow the lead of a strong Christian man. Thank you, Nick. You've created the organization. I will follow your lead and I will be of service to said lead. With Christ as his guide, he will do what he has to make this institution happen, and I will follow his lead and I will contribute and be of service. I am so excited for this movement. And I can't wait to see what Trump and them says that Nick Fuentes is launching this. I cannot wait. And I can't wait to see when they see the numbers. Nick, man, I wish you were doing it sooner, because the same people who've been talking crap, Ben Shapiro, ABL, Brandon Tatum, Megyn Kelly even, who, yes, she's acknowledging that Nick has a whatchamacallit, but yeah, she's criticizing him because, oh, he's a racist. He's a this, he's a that. Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, all of these people, Tommy Lauren, the new media people. I'm so sick of them. We watched them for 10 years and they have totally betrayed the America First movement. He comes out with this organization. Oh my gosh. The amount of signups and donations that this guy is going to get within, I think, 72 hours to a week is going to be remarkable. So much so that you're going to have to talk about it. And no lie, this is why I said I want to be the Candace Owens to his Charlie Kirk so bad, because if Megyn won't have Nick on, if I miss Candace Owens, I would hope to God she has me on, because I'd have no problem telling her, look, I appreciate you and I'm grateful to you because you're the person who sent me down my red pill path. She asked that infamous question at the Republican debate about he's all terrible about women, blah, 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 blah. I went to Fox News and watched the Kelly File to find out more about why I shouldn't like Trump. And all I figured out was why I don't like Hillary Clinton, why I don't want her to win. So thank you, Megyn, for that. I'm grateful to you for that. But you're killing me right now. I will forever be grateful to her for that. But she's killing me. And I have no problem telling her that. You want to know why we all follow the guy who you guys keep calling a racist and an anti-Semite and all this, that, and a third? Because he's the only one who puts America first. Because like him, we can all put aside our differences because we love our country and our king more. Period, full stop. We want a dramatic shift in America. We want a restoration, not a reset. We want to kick out the Zionist. We want to kick out the Zionistic ideology, nihilism, this multiculturalism. America was black, white, Native American. And yes, with the annexing of, Texas and California and Arizona. Okay, so then, yeah, we added on some Hispanics. Okay, some Spaniards. Okay. But then they should speak freaking English. This is an English-speaking Christian nation. Abide by the Christian law. I want birth certificates and proof of Christianity. I want to see the baptismal certificate. I got mine. I want to see yours. That's how we feel right now. You want a job? Produce those things. That's how we're feeling right now. You're a Muslim? This is the siege. You better pack your bags and go if you're not an American citizen. That's America first. That's what the institution's going to fight for. Traditionalism, Christianity, nationalism. That's it in a nutshell. We want a serious restoration. I want what we had at the founding. And you know why that would be perfect for today? Because the morality of America today is 10 times better than what it was back then. There is no more slavery. I'll say legal slavery. Because you can't convince me this cheap labor that you're shipping in, Trump, isn't slavery. Cheap labor, slavery. But the morality of America today is 10 times better than what it was at its founding. And so if you can have what we had at our founding, where we did say, if you are not Christian, you cannot vote. I'm okay with that. I'm going to end this on a little story before I close out. I'm going to tell you guys a story. Couple, like, I think it was last year. Said last year or earlier this year. Can't remember exactly when. But I was having a conversation with my friend and her son, and they were telling me about, America. And even then, they were asking me about what I thought about Israel. And I was like, oh, no. Israel's looking a bit murky at this point. I don't know how I feel about them right now. It's not Jews, it's the state of Israel. But he showed me something. He pulled something up. It was like a Supreme Court decision from a long time ago. I think it was the 1800s when this decision had been made. It was either in 1800s or early 1900s. So bear with me. I can't remember the exact name of it, but this is just the story I wanted to tell you guys. He said that there's this Supreme Court decision that was made that pretty much said that if you are not a descendant of European Anglo-Christian, that you could not own property in America, that you had to be either the actual settler or descendant of said European Anglo-Christian settler. And when he said it to me, he said this was Supreme Court law decision. And you know what happens when the Supreme Court makes a decision? It becomes a law of the land. Well, clearly people are ignoring it. Now, obviously, I'm not European, I'm not Anglo, but I am a Christian. So I said to him, if they could strike 2 words from this, I would be okay with it. And he said, what do you mean 2 words? 2 words, 2 words. European? I'm like, yep, because I'm not European. My birth father is Panamanian. So that's European is kind of not the case. Not unless you go as far back and see if Panamanians are an extension of Spaniards, which I would assume they are at some point, but you know what I mean. And I'm not white, clearly, because, my mother is Black American. So I'm half there's Panamanian and then there's Black American. There is no European here. There is no Anglo here. But I am dang sure Christian. So if you said that there is a Supreme Court decision in the 1800s that said that you had to be all three of these things to own, and then knowing that even states had laws inside of their constitution, it's the law of the state embedded in their constitution that said you had to be a Christian to even vote. You put those two things together. You make the tiny adjustment for that court decision. We have the perfect foundation for the nation. You can kick everybody who isn't Christian out. Everybody who isn't Christian American out. Well, I'll be fair. Let me be fair. If you are not a citizen, you're getting kicked out. Period. Full stop. Full stop. And that includes legal residents. You're getting kicked out. There's only going to be certain few, I would say exceptions. Some have, you can do that, I guess. It's reasonable. It's fair. That's us as Christians offering grace, right? But then for the Americans, if you are not Christian, you don't get certain privileges. Period, full stop. You want to vote? Become a Christian. Practice Christianity. Live Christianity. If you want to be a hypocrite in your house, be a hypocrite in your house. But you will abide by the law of Christianity. You'll be baptized in Christianity. And that's that. Marriage will only be done amongst Christians. The church should take jurisdiction over marriage, not government. Therefore, null and voiding anything homosexual. You want to adopt children, you better be Christian. If you did the surrogacy thing and you are 2 gay men, your children will be taken from you unless you're willing to separate. I would rather the child be raised in a single father household than to have homosexual dads. Personally, how I feel about that. Dave Rubin, because you're not a conservative. I know I keep saying it, but it has to be said. I don't care how this sounds. I'm so sick of the moderate. I'm sick of civility. I'm sick of all these laws that they have on the books. I totally think that they put all these laws in place so that way we rely and we depend on government. We rely on them for protection. We rely on them for opportunity. We rely on them too much, so much so that we can't even defend ourselves. We can't choose for ourselves. We can't live for ourselves anymore. And it's made us so civilized that we can't even have a vice president because she shoots Cujo. That's where we are today. But we all know damn well that they would have damn well voted in Calamity Jane or Annie Get Your Gun if she were America First in the 1800s. We all know that that would have been the case. No one would have had a problem with that if we had the kind of society we had then with the morals of today. Because one doesn't need laws on the books to be a good person. I think the majority of America are good people. You don't need the laws to tell you to be good, to force you to be good. We just like being the good guy. And America First wants to restore America to when it was great, as far as the law is concerned, as far as culturally is concerned. This is significant. This is a big deal. This is why we should be literally lined up at the front door the second he launches it. All of us watching. All of you guys watching my show, all of you who are in the comment section. It's not about people creating more podcasts, and it's not just about people creating, more content, which I do think we do need. Because I used to think that commentary, political commentary specifically, was oversaturated. Now I'm starting to think there's not enough America First. It's starting to sound like it's just Nick. And I'm trying to fill that void. And, Ann Coulter, she doesn't want to do this ongoing, right? She writes books and she has her newsletter and she pops up on interviews left and right. But come on, let's call a spade. It feels like it's just Nick at this point. And I'm trying to step in some way with my cartoons, with this podcast, with my music videos, trying to share traditional Christian values, Christian nationalism. I will be launching another music video next month, which is like literally next week. I do have to finish my episodes to be done for the Disavowed Gal. We just got 2 more episodes left of that, but I will be releasing a new music video as well. Make sure you guys are checking out the America First AI Substack so you guys can get access to all of that content. But you guys are starting to understand why it's so significant that you guys don't just watch and engage in the comment section, which I'm so grateful for and I hope you continue to do. But to the gentleman who said if there's anything that he can do to help me out, honestly, I don't know what kind of help I need. I just know that this movement needs help. And if you're not comfortable being on screen, that's totally fine. What are your skills? What can you do? What can you offer the movement? And the second he opens the doors, digitally speaking, sign up. Let's see what we can do with Nick and this foundation of his. Because that is a day that I cannot wait for. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we all should be looking forward to. Because my gosh, glass half full here. Trump may not be focused on domestic policies, and he may be ruining the America First agenda that was clearly presented to him in Project 2025. But you know what? Thank Christ for Nick Fuentes. Thank Christ for the movement that he is relaunching. And my gosh, I cannot wait. And if any of you I don't really do shorts and stuff like that. I think, one or two may get posted here later. But if any of you can let him know in his comment section, hey, there's this channel, there's this podcast, there's this girl, Asia Branch. She's a huge fan of the things you say. And she wants to be a part of America First Foundation. She makes these cartoons. Check it out. Like, if any of you can get that to him, that would just be like, I would be immensely grateful. Totally immensely grateful because, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm feeling like a kid in the candy store. Honestly, no, I'm feeling like how I felt when I was an adult in the Wizarding World at Universal Studios. That's how I feel. That's how excited I am. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Nick, bless you for what you're doing. I cannot wait to be a part of it. I cannot wait to see all these people like literally having to eat a crap ton of crow because they're going to see some shift happen. And that's going to be fun to watch. And I'm so glad to be around for it. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like this episode did manage to go past 20 to 30 minutes. I got myself excited and got past the depressing thing about my technical difficulty. So make sure you guys are liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for the America First Foundation? What do you think you bring to the table? Let me know in the comment section. Again, this is more than just creating content and being podcasters and creating cartoons. How are you called to this movement? What do you think you can bring to the table? Let me know what you think about the organization being relaunched next year. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you bring to the table. This isn't just about me. I can't wait. Make sure you subscribe to the America First Substack as well. Another episode of this Val Gala will be made available in a music video coming to you all soon. But that's my time. I'm gonna go have my nightcap and have myself some dinner. Until next time.